I'm kind of just interested, like, in what the fuck is medieval MMA?
Medieval combat. From one-on-one duels, 10v10 melees, all the way up to 150 versus 150 all-out wars.
Whoa!
These lot aren't playing games.
And I took a two-handed axe to the head and drove it into my brain about a centimeter.
This is a legit sport, and it's just...
I'm sorry, man. Why the fuck would anybody want to watch, like, boxing? Want to watch, like, I don't know, fucking skiing? Want to watch anything like that when you can watch literally medieval MMA? Like, I'm sorry, man, but...
It's completely mental. And this seemingly hyper-niche sport has grown into these international championships that are hosted in these incredible historic castles. And in today's video, we will explore how the hell this all happened.
But, like, are the weapons actually sharpened, though? Like, are those, like, actual, like, real sharp weapons? Like, or what? Like, how do you determine if somebody, like, loses? Like, how is that even determined, though? Getting hit by a medieval weapon, the fuck? Yeah, I don't understand that. Why? Like, I don't understand. Why would you allow, like sharp weapons or stuff like that? Like, it looks fun. Like, I would love to try this. I would love to try this again with, like, my friends or something, right? But you probably have to have a lot of training to, like, not kill the other individuals, right? Like, literally, man, it seems fucking mental to do this, right?
I'm clean. This video actually came about as kind of an accident. Originally, I was planning to make a video on LARPing. It was going to be funny, a little bit playful.
I'm sorry, man, but LARPing, no, fuck no, I'll never ever be into that. Like,
And then,
I'm sorry, man, it's just too cringe.
I stumbled across this one video titled "The Hardest KO at M1 Medieval." And I kind of just sat there, like, bewildered, listening to these two commentators who didn't have a clue what they were commentating on.
He follows it up with a right slash, should we call it?
But this baby had 14 million views, and I was there captivated watching these two beefy boys in a full suit of armor smack the crap out of each other. This led me on like a 5-hour YouTube rabbit hole and introduced me.
I'm genuinely gonna say, like, that this is kind of lit. Listen, guys, listen. I'm trying not to, like, fucking get in your goddamn way, but calm the fuck on, man. I don't know if it's even you're memeing or what, but, like, can you guys just drop it? Like, I don't give a fuck about Indonesians or Netherlands or, like, what name is what, or what is what, or, like, is Indonesian a language, country? I don't give a fuck, man. Can we just drop it? Like, it doesn't even seem like you guys are having fun about, like, talking about it. Like, I'm sorry, man. It doesn't even look like right from outside. Can you guys just, like, fucking drop it? And let's watch some fucking medieval MMA, man. Like, isn't medieval MMA funnier than talk about, like, some dumb shit? Yeah, man, like, like, who cares, man? Like, yeah, like, who gives a fuck about Indonesia, Netherlands? We're all humans at the end of the fucking day. We're all people that talk a different language, like, live in different places, man. Like, medieval MMA is fucking way more important than any of that shit.
To this crazy world of Bowhurt.
Bowhurt?
Now, Bowhurt is the OG historic name. All around the world, there are different names for different leagues, but before we get into that, let's start with how Bowhurt came around. Now, Bowhurt actually dates back to the 12th century, so between 1100 and 1200 AD. And
whoa! So you're talking about a sport that's more than 800 years old? What? Like, 800 years old, my guy. That's fucking wild, man. That's actually wild. Like, a sport that's so old, like, I think the boxing is not even that old, or I think that came about, like, in America in, like, the 1800s or something like that. Like, what? That's really old, man. Women's aren't sharp, like, I mean, they're sharp, but not to the point where they actually, okay, so you can't actually, like, kill anybody with them. Okay, well, okay, you probably can kill somebody with it. Like, if you hit someone with an axe, like, really hard, they probably will kill them, right? They are sports older than 2K years old. Yeah, I know there's also board games that old, but that's still impressive, man. Like, something holding that being that old, because, like, suits of armors are not cheap, like, at all. And if you want, like, a really good one, it's gonna cost you a fucking fortune, man. But past they actually kill people and they waste the manpower. You know, man. Sometimes you, like, in Brian, your best mate Brian, like, he just gotta kill a couple people, man. You know, it do me what it do me.
And it actually comes from the old French word bowherd, which literally translates to wallop.
Wallop?
You see, during the medieval period, tournament fighting was super popular. Basically, when these knights went...
You can even see that in, like, that is that game that came out and, like, there was, like, took place in, like, the Czech Republic. I don't know what the fuck game is, but like you can literally do like tournaments and stuff like this. Like it's so fucking lit. And even like in a game like Mountain Blade Bannerlord, you can also go to tournaments. It's really fucking cool, man. Where like this like on horses, where like one guy's an archer, stuff. It's so fucking cool. But they also refers to actually protect people from getting hit by the weak spot, so you don't die. Like, yeah, man. But like, at the end of the day, like if you sign up for this shit, like you're gonna get hurt, right? Like you're probably gonna get hurt, or if you keep doing it, you're gonna hurt at some point, right? So like it's just really cool.
Risking their lives in wars, they would instead risk their lives in tournament fights, just for fun. These tournament fights served as a place to like practice strategy.
I think it's like
it
feels like it's an adrenaline rush. That's why you do it.
The Jewel Arena in RuneScape. But you see, there was a problem, because people kept dying. Which, if you're trying to have a really powerful army, it's a little bit counterintuitive to kill them in play fights.
Yeah, and killing them against your own troops, right? So like...
So many years and many dead nights later, someone would have the genius idea.
The Germans remind me of the
Truman
exam for real Naruto. If you no, I've watched all of Naruto.
So people don't die as much. From here, Bohurt would become a massive sport, where the best
I get what you mean
knights
with the
would travel
tournament.
from tournament to tournament, fighting. And if you were pretty nice with the blade, you could make a small fortune. And very likely, a lord would see how good you were and kind of sign you up as his protection, which would give you a secure future. So basically, it was just a more bloody version of university. Knights in this era were like super soldiers. You would have these famous knights who would be feared all around the world. You would have a man like Godfrey of Boulogne, the Scottish William Wallace, and a good old...
Oh, William Wallace, I know that guy. Like, didn't he have like a massive sword, like 2 meters long or something? This guy's a fucking legend, man.
English boy called William Marshall. But you see,
No idea what
this
that is,
era of Bohurt would eventually come to an end. It would last between the 1200s to the 1340s,
Oh.
so then it officially came to its end in 13...
Yeah, wasn't it something about like Christianity? Pretty much like some dude died, and then like some like priest was kind of like, nah, I don't think I will anymore, and then they kind of ended it. I think that's like how I remember something about that.
Basically, because all of the kings and the lords that kind of governed the sport, they were always bickering at each other about the rules or like the terms for the tournament. And eventually, at this event in 1342, they came to the conclusion that enough was enough, because they didn't really know why they were doing this. Like, knights were still dying, and they were spending a lot of money and resource on these fights, all of which were probably better used.
So I'm wrong. Okay, I guess I'm wrong then.
At the time. So
because in EU4 there is like the last jousting something like match where you get like 10% morale boost and stuff like that. I remember something about that. That's where I'm guessing. Do people get hurt from playing Medival? People do actually get hurt from. Yeah. Like I'm guessing, man. I wonder how many kings like have died from like being a part of these like tournaments, because obviously there's some princes and kings that's gonna join them, man.
Bohurt would lie dormant for centuries. That was until the 90s, when the couple of Ruskies came along. Before we go any further, today's video is brought to you by Soul is a fast-growing new social
I gotta admit though, like it's pretty fucking lit, man. Like when was the inspiration of Braveheart? He was? Shit, okay. Again, I've never watched Braveheart. Like I just know there was that like actor. I don't know what his name is, but I'm not a big fan of that actor. And then I just never decided to watch it. And also like he looks kind of weird, man. Like with the whole blue makeup and stuff like that. And I also think a lot of Scottish people, they don't like that movie because like it stereotypes them in some way they don't like. But that's what I know about it though. Yeah,
the algorithm will find people with like
you also allowed to break bones and etc. But before it was just not just roleplay, not actual weapons and stuff. It became bloodthirsty for authentic. But yeah, obviously, man. Like, wouldn't you also get kind of bloodthirsty? Like, if they held like matches like that, I would want to like get like a couple of my boys, right? Like get cameras, get that shit on stream, get that shit on video, and then upload like videos about like fucking with people fighting. Like that could be wild, man. Imagine how much the views you would get from that.
Celebrate medieval history. And in Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, all these kind of countries, they were very popular. And at the same time, in the rest of the world, reenactment...
It's the same with like slapping tournaments. Like they was really popular in Russia, and then they kind of like spread.
Were popping up more and more. More commonly known as LARPing groups.
Lightning bolt. Yeah, lightning bolt.
Which the term...
Don't safety, but if I won't join, and I will not join for obvious. Yeah. Again, like what if you actually lose like a finger or like a hand or like an arm or your life, right? It doesn't really like seem like good. No.
It's definitely slightly scoffed at, but regardless, over in America,
listen, LARPing is fucking cringe. Okay, I'm sorry, man. If you enjoy LARPing, you're either one, a fucking massive virgin, two, you should just play World of Warcraft. Or three, just go home and play World of Warcraft. Like, doing it in real life is just kind of like so mid. just buy a VR headset and play like that game where you can like play as like a knight, and like you can do like lightning bolts and like fight with swords and all that. Just play that, man. Like, why do you have to go out in the fucking forest and look like a dork? And I'm saying that as a massive nerd myself, okay? Like these toes.
Now, one of the main organisers for LARPing was the SCA. They have this one event called the Pensic War that literally sees like 10,000 plus people. Pensic and the war itself actually has its own lore built into it. They've basically reimagined America as if it was like a medieval country, split up into factions, they go to war, and if you win the Pensic War. And you know, to me, as a big nerd, that sounds really cool. But to most...
It does sound really fucking cool. Like, I would go to that. I would go to that. Getting killed and actually fight and losing a body part. Yeah, I get that, right? But like, I think fighting a medieval war is. I think I would want to try it. Like, just like for once, like just try it, because like it seems like this is made with like foam and stuff like that. Like, this is more like the LARPing kind of war I would want to be part of. Like real medieval kind of warfare, no. But this could be kind of fun.
It doesn't. It sounds like nerds running around and slapping each other with polystyrene sticks.
Killing blow 2, killing blow 3. Wow.
You see, over time, the LARPing community developed a hunger for legit medieval combat. And from this was birthed Historic Medieval Combat, otherwise known as HMB.
I just wonder how much that should cost, man. I wonder how much that armor costs.
HMBIA is like the main official organizer, and it is the original, like the founding league. And in 2005, they would host their first event, being the European Championship in Ukraine. And at this time, there was just 2 events. There was sword versus sword and sword and shield. These fighters or knights would literally
like
fight
5K?
each other with real weapons in a real suit of armor, and would score points based on a marking criteria. But this was early days in the sport, so the
like all I gotta say is like think about all those like companies and stuff like that, or like old school like smithing families that are still doing like medieval armor. They were just kind of like, bro, nobody buys armor these days besides like if it's like a coronation or some shit, or like some dumb reason they buy an armor. Nobody does it anymore. We'll have to close up shop, and then some dumbass comes in and it's kind of like, I need a set of armor. Okay, we'll just get it. And like 2 more people comes in, we need sets of armors, and then like 100 people come, we need more sets of armors. What the fuck? Why does everybody need armor? And then you look at your phone, medieval combat is back, baby. And then the smithing family is like looking at each other like the dad and son, kind of like that, bro. We're back in business. And then just like start making like bunch of suits for those people, and holy my fucking god, like furry suits. I don't think I would watch a furry suit like fight, man. I think I'm good. I think if I want to watch like a bunch of like furries fight, I'll just like get one of my mods who's a furry, and then somebody else to fight him. I think I wonder who makes the armor, because they look pretty it looks pretty fucking good, man. I wonder, dude. And like, if let's say like there's about like 5,000 people that like do this, like 5,000 armors. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. But I guess it's like supply and demand. If there's more that buys it, I guess it becomes cheaper, I guess. Some pay someone to make it. Yeah.
And it would take until 2009 for the very first Battle of the Nations.
Battle of the Nations,
BOTN, is an international historic medieval combat world championship. This is the World Cup of medieval combat. And for this first event, they went all out. They hired out this place called the Khoitin Fortress in Ukraine. Looking at this place, it's insane. It looks amazing.
That's lit. That's fucking lit. How can you not get a massive boner from watching that, man? How can you not feel like some sense of like, if you're a man and you still feel that sense of like, I want to try that? How can you not feel like that?
Just
like that feeling.
Noobs running around in an iron helmet, spamming buying GF.
Buying GF, let's go.
Anyway, at this first event, 4 countries took part, being the Ukraine, Belarus, Poland, and Russia. And this very first event,
my boys from Poland, stand up,
saw around 100 fighters who would take part in just 3 different events: the 1v1 duel, 5v5 group battles, and an all-out 25 vs 25 clan war. And after the intense battle was over and the last sword fell, one nation would emerge victorious.
Russia?
Mother Russia.
Mother
That's what I was
Russia.
saying. This event was...
Let's hope the place does not get destroyed. Yeah, I hope so, man. Let's hope so. I want to see these tournaments again. If they have a live stream, then we should watch live stream or something. Like what? Like really get into this shit, man. I would love to watch more of this shit, man.
A reenactment. They weren't using foam weapons. This was a full combat sport. Real weapons, real armor, a full rule set that all the nations were competing under, and they were just beating the crap out of each other. Like, people would get hurt. Being stretchered off the battlefield It wasn't uncommon, but as word spread of
Man, I want to watch. Like, this looks
more
lit.
nations wanted to compete to claim.
Whoa, 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 hold on, hold on.
It wasn't uncommon, but as word spread of this event,
We got the motherfucking Italians.
more and more
We got Austria, Hitler gang.
nations wanted to compete.
Wait, what? Was it just the Baltic?
It wasn't uncommon, but as word spread of this event, more and more nations.
The Baltic, so I guess that's Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia. Because again, they're not massive countries, so it makes sense they would be grouped up.
Wanted to compete.
And motherfucking Denmark, motherfucking The three lions represent Denmark gang. Denmark gang. Come on, bro. Come on, get on that, motherfucker.
Claim
And of course, Germany gotta join that, okay? If there's something in Russia, man, they gotta go to Russia.
title. And so nations would put forward a team. A team had to consist of at least 8 people, up to a maximum of 50. And to get on one of these teams, you'd need to do well in your national competitions. And as I was mentioning,
You're telling me there's fights like this in Denmark? Should I maybe try to like sign up for this shit and try that? That could be a lit stream, like GoPro on the top. Just that could be kind of
a lot
lit.
of these competitions are held at like historic sites. And there's a really heavy emphasis towards
What was the World Cup called again? Battle of the Nations.
accuracy. So like effectively you can use whatever armor and weapon you want, providing you can whip out some historic paperwork to prove that it was around in the era. But over time they would start to get quite lenient as
Don't give FrizoYT yet, man. It could be lit. Okay, let's see here. Like it's Group B. Denmark is in that. We have the UK, France, USA as well joining in, and they're not even like medieval kind of guys. Ukraine, France, Italy. I think it's weird that like Norway or Sweden didn't even join into this. I think it shows that they're cringe, man. It shows that they're cringe, and Denmark gang stand up. Denmark gang stand up.
what countries can compete, because obviously
Oh, I thought it was Mexico. I saw
medieval
Mexico.
Europe is Europe, but alas they let some Canadians in from Quebec in 2011.
Hey!
Came in at 2012. It is quite funny seeing like American and Canadian flags on medieval.
Yeah, it doesn't really, you know, it isn't really like authentic, right, with those kind of guys. But I still think it's cool. Like everybody should be able
By
to join.
2013, BOTN had grown from the original 4 teams that competed, with over 22 different teams with about 4.
Oh no! He switches so fast though.
4 teams that competed, with over 22 different teams.
Yeah, we have Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, Poland, Ireland, Germany, Quebec, Denmark, Austria, what the fuck? Israel, America, the Baltics, Germany. I think New Zealand, Australia, both there. Wait. Is there difference here? Wait, what the fuck? There's 2 flags that's like almost the same. I don't know. There's probably some random African flag. UK, the Netherlands. Of course, the Netherlands gotta get in there. Romania, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Japan. I guess you guys can see right now. Give me a second. Argentina, France, Portugal, and Spain. What the fuck, man? Actually, yeah, Luxembourg, of course. It was Italy. I don't know, man. Is that Italy? Oh, I guess that is Italy. I have licked, man. It's not my fault, man. I have licked, man.
Fighters total. But you see, something.
The call looks so
behind the
off, though.
scenes was happening, and a fair few people were getting pretty unhappy.
Why? Why people get
Russians were
unhappy?
completely dominating the sport, and they still are. But allegedly, a very wealthy Russian oligarch is like the financial backer for the sport, and there have been allegations of corruption and cheating. Like for instance, the Americans were told that they're not allowed to wear their footwear that they had bought in from America.
Why? That's dumb. But of course it's Russia. There has to be some corruption. But like, why would you then why not just hold it in Germany, right? Why not just hold it in Germany? Like, if you held it in Germany, first of all, Germany has a lot of old castles. Germany has a lot of fucking millionaires. Even it could even be like a legit sport backed by multiple countries. Like, fuck giving Russia the power, man. We need like that should be held in Germany.
Pretty much the moment they left America, which yeah, is kind of a dick move. But you see, there was never any like hard evidence to prove that Russia were cheating. That was until one day when one of the Russian organizers were caught on camera, basically holding up
even the Netherlands could actually be pretty fucking good, man. Why not?
Fighter as he was going to fall to the ground, so kind of keeping him in the game.
Oh.
When this footage got out there, well, everyone kind of kicked off. The Americans went off and created what is called the IMCF. But we'll get more into what they do in a moment.
Lit. Okay, lit.
Despite
Like
all
that.
the
I like that.
allegations of corruptions, the Russians are definitely on top of this sport. And they've completely cleaned up their act since 2013. And their fighters have become like legends of the sport. You've got Sergey Yukolov, who is an absolute beast. From BOTN 2011 to 2014, Sergey was the reigning champion of 1v1 duels. His reign would come to an end in 2015 in Prague, where a man by the name of Yevgeny Lapig beat Sergey and become the champion. And this title of like world champion has passed between very few hands over the years. The other person is Alexei Petrick, who took the title in 2016 and has held it ever since. But you see, this was all well and good, but in 2015...
I wonder how much money is in that sport. I wonder how much money is like involved. Sure. Yeah, I really wonder, man.
Everything would change with the introduction of what is known as pro fights.
Oh shit! So that's the MMA we were looking at the start, man. Of course, Chega would always have the power of good luck. Yep. But man, it seems like so fucking like amazing, right? Like, first of all, I don't think this should be held in America. I have to say that. It should be held in a legitimate castle. We have, in the entirety of Europe, we have castles everywhere. It should be held in a castle every single time, man. Let's say like a massive castle. We could even take like fucking a castle in the club where I live, Hillerød. There's a massive castle there. It should be held like in the courtyard or something. It could be lit, or like in the castle where the queen lives in Denmark, man. It could be fucking lit. The fuck? How do you say Czechia? Czechia? Oh yeah, Czech Republic. Yeah, I was to say that like that. Yeah.
Fights is also often referred to as medieval MMA. Basically,
bro, it looks
allowing
lit.
for like punching, kicking, takedowns, and all kinds of things.
So like old school, you know, like no honor, like kind of battle.
Most exciting one to watch because it's just like unrestrained combat. You can just do what you want. The best fighter wins. I'm not sure exactly how the pro fight.
The Czech Republic, Czechia. Like, I'm sorry, man. I just have a Danish accent, man. This is what it is.
Came about, but one of the very early events was hosted by M1, which is like the Russian UFC. It's a massive MMA company. They partnered up with HMBIA to host
that's lit,
what was intended to be just like a gimmick event, like a halftime show between the fights, just to give the audience something to watch.
I'm guessing that people loved it. Yeah. That's where it came from. The 40 million
and getting millions and millions of views online. In 2018, BOTN would pick up pro fights and start introducing them to their event, with the fights kind of split into like weight categories. I just can't get over these events. There's just something about it. It's both hilarious and incredibly impressive at the same time. Each fighter's corner has a blacksmith and a potions trader. I want to see a fair fight. No spells, no summons. When your father raised you to be a crusader, but
you wanted to be an MMA fighter.
I think it was these M1 fights that really popped off medieval combat online.
I want to see this shit. I want to see this.
Of seeing these warriors in full metal armor from the medieval.
It must be hot though. Like, it must be really hot in, like, the summer and stuff like that, like, going around this shit. You probably want to do it, like, in early, like, spring, or, like, in I mean, late spring, and then in early, like, fall. That's probably where you want to do this.
Into, like, a modern, professional-looking MMA ring with commentators.
Yeah, it should be held in a castle. Like, I think most people could probably agree with that. Yeah, like, wearing steelers, extra, yeah.
The old image of like nerdy larpers smacking each other with plastic sticks and
this is like shit now compared to the one that like old like the like why would you larp with like fucking foam swords when you can literally do this, man? It looks so sick.
And then call it late. On top of that, just imagine what these.
I love it.
Like,
I love it.
Broad summer's day, you're boiling hot. You're wearing 3 to 4 stone worth of armor. Underneath that, you've got like a thick protective layer that would leave you sweating like a pig. All whilst having like 1
you must
inch
sweat so much after this.
That is all you can see.
Better Nation's hella better.
Restricting the oxygen to your head, so you're like suffocating, all the while getting twatted around the head with like metal axes and swords. And like, if it isn't obvious, getting hit by these weapons hurts a lot. No less the pain, but just imagine the sound. Like, getting smacked with metal against your metal helmet. It's gonna sound like a
I want to see this in real life, man.
And people do get hurt. Break bones, get concussions, you get bloodied up. Like, it's
I wonder if anybody just died from it though.
There are a lot of rules and regulations to keep it safe, at least relatively safe compared to other combat sports. Like, you can't go into one of these fights after just coming back from the blacksmith who sharpened up your new fresh shiv. Weapons do have to be blunted, and they
it makes sense, makes sense.
The length, the weight, the sharpness, etc. As well, the armor itself is made out of tempered steel, meaning that if you get whacked really hard, the armor doesn't crush in and like keep you stuck in the armor.
Makes sense, right? like it would have to be made of like steel that doesn't bend at all. Like I think using iron, which is like is pretty bendable, right? Like iron is pretty fucking bendable, if you hit it hard enough. I think it makes so much sense using steel. I think steel is also a lot heavier though than iron, a lot heavier. So they probably are carrying more weight than they usually would have been like back in the days, right? But it's still for the security of it, like 100%. These guys are probably training like all day to be like really good at this.
So
I'd be able to carry it. Safety for our entertainment. Yeah.
That, the refs
but
do
it is
a
what it
really
is, man.
good job at like keeping it safe, and they'll stop you from hitting weak points like the gaps in your armor behind your knee and around your neck. I'm gonna guess that you're wondering like who would be attracted to doing this, and honestly most of the fighters will have no shame in admitting that they are just nerds. Not all of them, but there's a lot of geeks, like people who just love medieval history, video games, stuff like that. It does
Lit,
attract a lot
man,
of people
lit.
like that. But on top of that, you get a lot of army veterans, just historic buffs. Men do it, women do it. You get all kinds of people, but obviously it does attract.
I think it's lit the fact like even men, like women do it as well. Like it's not just like men. I think that's like really good. I think when you can like bridge the gap and have like the different genders like involved, I think that's probably the best you can do, because that means that can be like a women league as well. It probably not be as popular as the men league, but like you get my point.
A certain sort that's willing to get hit with steel weapons.
Oh, they're fucking cracked.
I was actually fortunate enough to speak with a legend of medieval combat called Simon Rorich. He's a proper OG, he's won titles, he's the real deal.
Yeah, but obviously then they can't just put women against men. Like obviously you can't do that. Like the men would just like smash the women into the fucking ground. There's a reason why women don't like then women aren't in like women and men aren't facing each other in like fucking MMA. They're facing each other in football, American football. Like no sports women and men are like facing each other like at all, unless it's like a special thing. There's probably some out there where they probably do face each other, but as far as I know, they don't face each other at all unless like some special event.
He explained to me that he got into it through these reenactment groups and just got bored of hitting people with plastic sticks and decided he wanted to do the real thing. And he's gone on to become a legend of the sport.
When I found out this sport came about, Bohort is when I fell in love with it.
He's competed in nearly all of the BOTN competitions, other than one where his helmet once fell off.
And I took a two-handed axe to the head of a 14-inch scar in the back, took a quarter-sized piece of bone and drove it into my brain.
And had to miss one of the events. But he's all right now, and he still competes.
Oh, lit. Oh, lit. This guy's good.
But Simon actually
this video, well, guess we're gonna stream out this video.
He gets flown around the world to go to all of these different events. The companies
this
sponsor
guy
him with armor and weapons.
ACV's Atlantic Regional Seminar. Simon, can you see like his weight though? No, I can't see his door. Like I want to see like how much he weighs. Like what is like his like weight class?
Is concerned, there are very few professionals. Yukolov, who I mentioned earlier, makes a living. Martin Voskilis, or something like that. These guys are a tiny minority. And despite what it looks, it isn't actually just a sport that's for the boys. Like, you do get girls that take part in this as well. There's one lady called Lara Sevoli, who's just an absolute sav.
Let's go, dude. Let's go, dude. How can you even still fight even after... Oh, I can't find my mouse. Even after getting your brain kaboomed by an axe, like, man, some people just built different, man. Some people built different, okay?
It's rare. There is more money out in Russia due to the fact that they have these big financial backers, but in America and the rest of Europe,
it's more for fun, I guess.
It's not common that people make money doing this. The Russians are hands down the best. They win nearly all of the big national events, and at BOTN they hold an insane 61 gold medals. But, you know, the UK,
like, I gotta say, man, I would love one of these like competitions to be held in Denmark, man.
Doing better and better. There's a guy called
like, why the fuck are we having competitions like where people are playing Counter-Strike in like the Royal Stage Arena in Denmark? Bro, we need a fucking medieval fights in there, motherfucker. Like, we need we got castles for days, man. Like, host a battle. Come on, please. I wanna go there, man.
Lucas, Cowell, and Daniel Winter, who, you know, they're out here repping the UK.
Like the English flag on the shield, so cool, man.
And if you're thinking about all the people that go to these events, and the people that aren't there, that go to like regional events, every single one of them has to buy armor, weapons, etc. It's a lot of money. So one of the things that
Hungary,
this sport back
France,
is
there,
just how expensive it is.
You know, normally you can get LARP armor for $500 or something, head to toe, in some mild steel, you know, that kind of thing. Our stuff has to be tempered and hardened, so it increases the labor. So a minimum cost for armor is about $3 grand.
If we just have a little look through some of the weapons.
$3 grand. My God, dude. like right now, if out of the gate, I couldn't even. I would wait next month before I would ever be able to like afford a fucking set. Then, holy shit, dude! I need that's a lot of fucking money, man.
You don't have to go to World 2 outside of Varrock Bank. You can just go on a website. You got medievalweaponry.co.uk, Medieval Extreme, and like if you just scroll through some of these items.
But I'm guessing you're not allowed to get like armor from like the classical era, like Roman armor and stuff like that. It has to be medieval, I guess.
Of how expensive it is. You end up trading it
because medieval armor is more like it covering everything besides.
You're probably looking at more like $10,000 for accessories and stuff to make.
Oh wait, wasn't that was like a helmet like
your armor and ship it to the event. So if you're an American and you want to fight in Europe, it's going to be pretty difficult to export customs where you've got a suit of armor and swords in your luggage. So you'll have to pay to ship it out separately, which it adds up. So because of all that, the sport is very isolated to people who can afford it. The price point is a massive barrier to entry. So speaking to Simon, it's hard to know how big this sport could be. It's probably not going to be the next fad. Like, you're not going to get kids coming into school in a full suit of arms. But maybe one day it will make just enough money to support a few very top level athletes into being professionals. The US may
imagine being American, definitely that's a massive element.
Big Renaissance fairs might hire these people.
It's violent in a way that they've never seen. So we have a unique.
Yeah, like I think like all those kind of like affairs though, they would probably hire these guys. They could probably like make a little bit of money off that because like having a suit of armor is like really cool. Also, like it's just like a costume in general. Like I think that could be kind of lit. Imagine living in a Schengen zone. Schengen. What?
People.
New combat games like Capture the Flag and stuff like that they're testing at the moment. They might attract more viewers.
There's no betting regulation on combat sports using weapons. There's nothing here in the United States. Like the first person to ever like with some money to back it to like get into Vegas is gonna make a bunch of money.
Yeah, 100%.
All in all,
again, it could just be like a betting sport as well as like football is.
I love seeing this. This is awesome. This is the kind of things that humans do best.
It comes to Schengen. I don't know what the fuck is Schengen. I heard the word before. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Which is just finding obscure hobbies and sports, putting on big events. People go to watch it. It's great. I love to see it. And personally, I really want to go to like a big UK festival for this thing. I would love to go to some medieval thing and see people doing this. But every single website is just terribly made. I nearly threw my laptop out the window just trying to book a ticket, so please sort that out. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this sport.
It should be hard.
Anyway,
come on, man. It should not be hard to book a ticket.
Subscribe to the channel. I've got new merch out now on JimmyTheGiant.co.uk. You can massively support.
Okay, that's the end of the video. Man, again, great fucking video. Like this was actually really fucking entertaining to watch. Like really, really fucking entertaining.